Today on the workbench, I've got a little project here. I've got some of the old Proto2000 locomotives, and a common problem with them is the gears in them break on the drive axles. So if you can, well, let me get this to where I can get it focused. Right at the end of that knife blade right there, you can see that gear is cracked. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to replace these with some new gears, and these are Athearn part number 60024. I believe that's what they were. Let me just get out. Yeah, that's the correct part number. Get that out. Show you that. Okay, there's the Athearn part number for these gears. They come 6 in a pack. You can get them off of eBay. They're not very expensive. But these axles, I mean, there's really nothing to them. You just basically pull that one side off, and then you can pull that gear off. So then you're left with just that. Now, I have seen, and I believe it was Athearn that did it, they had a little rubber bushing inside of their gear. Now that rubber bushing, I think it only came on the DCC ready versions of the locomotives. So now these Protos, they don't have that little rubber bushing. And what that does, those axles, when you put a new gear in, that's a new gear. When you put a new gear in, you don't want, especially, well, either way, if you're running DC or DCC, you do not want these axles to touch, because that is all metal and they are not insulated. So what I do is I take a small piece of, you can't even really see it right there. Let's see if I can get it out here a little farther. I take a small piece of heat shrink tubing, and I believe this is 1/16 inch. And I just take and cut just a tiny piece off of that. Okay, let me get rid of that. So now I'm going to keep that on that knife blade. That way, well, and there it just fell off. I'm going to keep that on that knife blade so I'll know where it's at. Okay. Then I'll take my gear, and these are pretty stout. So what I have here is the puller by Northwest Short Lines, 45-4. I will take, let me unscrew this. And this may seem like a little overkill, but if you put one of these on, they are fairly rigid. Now I could take and try to force that on there, and it will not go. So what I do is I will set this, get it turned around, and this is a fairly complicated, well, it's not complicated, it's just you need about 4 hands to do it. And there, you got to be careful. I've lost my bushing off of there. So I'll set that on that plate. Now I'm going to try to do this backward. Let me run this out for a second. These pullers come with two of these hex head screws. Okay, that's what I thought. That one doesn't fit through the hole. I have another one here, and it fits through. The pin's a little smaller. So, put this back down in here until I feel that come out. Now I'll run that down a little bit, get this to where I can see it. And I know you can't see that with my finger on it, but I am going to start running that down, and I'm filming this kind of backward. Let me get it down on here and then I'll show you what I've got. Okay, there I have that setting on the axle, and you want to make sure you get that as straight as you can. And then it just takes, I mean, it's just light pressure. And that already bottomed out. So there's one side. Now, I can't use my press to get the other side on. But first, I want to pick up my piece of clear tubing there. Well, come on. And I want to put it in there. You can just barely see that. But at least it is in there. Okay, now what I have to do, and the other side is just basically the same, except this time, let me show you what I'm using here. Pardon the camera, I'm going to twist it around here a little bit. Okay. This is an Harbor Freight Harbor Press. And all we do, we stick our axle in that side, and then I wish I could do this to where you could see all of it. Let me get a pair of pliers here. maybe my big old fingers won't be in the way. Okay. Yep. And my big old fingers are going to be in the way. And there, I just dropped it. I'm trying to keep that bushing on there. There we go. And I do have a hole drilled in there. And we just press that on there like that. And that is almost a completed axle. Let me get my NMRA gauge out. And you can tell we are way off. So let me stick it back in there. And we want to take this slow. I am still off. Still just a touch off. I've got the light glare in there, but I just need a tiny bit more. And that should do it. Nope, I am still off. Okay. Oh. How well that's coming through. Turn this overhead light off. And then I'll actually turn the camera around here. So right there is a completed set of wheels. So now we're good to go on that one, and we can move on to the next one. I just wanted to show you that real quick. So thanks for watching.